Hillsborough is no longer a small town. It may only have just over 6,000 official residents. It may only claim 5 square miles. Hillsborough is no longer a small town. Growth has crept down the numerous highways that found their way to Hillsborough. New residents, new businesses, new systems of belief, values, and priorities. Homes stretch out in the latest developments, seemingly endless, and in the face of these new residents, new businesses, new daily lives, Hillsborough is fighting to keep its old identity. Fitting then that this great intersection of two opposing forces, the wave of growth and the town's history and culture, is Churton Street. The only north-south road in the town, Churton holds not just local traffic, but also 2 highways, NC 86 and US 70. The cars racing and just as often idling along travel a street originally planned over 2 centuries ago. It was never intended for this heavy use. And so in the 60s a solution was first proposed. The Elizabeth Brady Road extension. Intended to alleviate traffic on Churton Street, the extension would create a new bridge over the Eno River and connect to St. Mary's Road. The original plans have been abandoned, as have successive efforts in the following decades. However, today, the Elizabeth Brady Road extension holds more promise to become a reality than ever before. There are now 4 options. 3 options for a road, and a 4th option for no build. Option 3 is closest to the original plans. Connecting at the existing Elizabeth Brady Road, it cuts through the historic Ochenechee Speedway Trail, across the Eno River, alongside Air Mount, through a portion of the Poets Walk, through several residential homes in the Highland Loop River Road area, and finally reaches St. Mary's Road. The Raceway Trail will be eliminated in this option. One of the earliest NASCAR races, the Ochenechee, was a dirt raceway used from 1948 to 1968, hosting 35 official races. Today it has become a walking trail, and its paths may soon be linked to other riverside walks. However, despite its reincarnation as a recreation spot, remnants of the raceway's past, including the concrete stands and dilapidated structures, remain. The track's relation to the town has not always been a positive one. Many who can recall it, as it originally was balked at the raceway's designation as a historic site. Some of these people would welcome its elimination, along with its rusting reminders. Right across the river lie Air Mount and its Poets Walk. A long-established historic site, Air Mount enjoys considerable support for its cultural value and beautiful open spaces. The home will not be affected by a road directly, but a portion of the Poets Walk will be eliminated. Additionally, there remains the aesthetic repercussions. However, Air Mount's designation as a historic site and its active ownership have altogether made option 3 an increasingly more distant possibility. When the raceway came to be a sister site several years ago and designated a historic site back in 2002, the 2 locations' collective future appeared safe from any new road construction. And because of this, an alternative was proposed by planners, option 4. This extension is intended to bypass the raceway extending on its eastern side, lie further east of Air Mount, and end at St. Mary's Road. However, the unintended consequence is the destruction of many more homes. The Riverside neighborhood can lose up to 25 homes, while other homes on Ivy Drive, Highland Loop, and River Road also are threatened. Highland Loop is a little more than a gravel road before it meets River Road. Without any county funding, it is maintained by residents and neighboring Air Mount. It will lose homes with option 3 and 4, and real questions must be raised as to what extent the entire area will be destroyed. As growth in big business and traffic increases Hillsborough's demand for new roads, adjacent county residents will likely pay the price. Mega stores have come into town, and in some respects look menacingly as if they may take over. In fact, Walmart has become an issue at the core of some of the E. Brady extension debates. And as all this goes on, most of the residents on these roads seem not to realize that they will be displaced. Of those, some are lucky enough to have the means to protect their assets. Most, however, will likely face great losses and a great struggle to relocate. This proposed road will bypass these threatened homes. It will extend further east and end on Highway 70. From there, it will use the existing bridge on 70, sparing the area its 7th road and 9th overall overpass. In doing so, this proposal spares the NO yet another strain on its ecology. And yet environmentalists do not support this option any more than options 3 or 4. In fact, while sparing the Eno and homes surrounding St. Mary's Road and Air Mount, option 6 will cut right through Poplar Ridge. It is another environmental hotspot and its residents and supporters. There also is the issue of its purpose. The Elizabeth Brady Road extension is intended to alleviate Churton's congestion, and yet this option via Highway 70 is not expected to be used by many as a means of avoiding Churton. Cars racing down 70 are traveling east-west, and the extension places cars much farther outside town than is helpful. As a result, estimates place option 6 as only alleviating about 9% of car travel on Churton Street. As the most costly option, it seems nonsensical. Few believe that option 6 will have any chance at construction, and fewer believe that it will have any effect on downtown traffic. And with such problems stemming from all 3 options, it seems reasonable that there is also a push for a 4th, no-build option. Voices throughout the community provide perfect representations of the wide views on the Elizabeth Brady Road extension and on Hillsboro's state as a whole. Bill Crowther, who manages Air Mount, strongly advocates against any extension of the Elizabeth Brady Road. Bill has attempted to safeguard the buildings and land he oversees. More importantly, he has fought to retain the culture and feel of the area. Bill says that he will not see Hillsboro become just another Orange County town devoid of a unique character and history. And because of that, he opposes not just option 3, but any construction. A far different view comes from many people of the new developments. Paul Newton of Beckett's Ridge acknowledges that, to many of his neighbors, the town's past is far less relevant. Transients define such developments. Many residents are commuters, people who don't live in Hillsboro long enough nor have the time to be involved in the town. For them, development and progress are most important, and part of that development is an Elizabeth Brady Road extension. Says Paul, Hillsboro is a growing place and we're going to have roads, and roads are going to have to go places. The car is here to stay, it's not going anywhere. And yet Paul's sentiments are not only shared by those new to Hillsboro. Edna Ellis and Mary Fox, old-time residents, are also vocal proponents of a new road, and for many of the same reasons. I would really like my small town back, but that's not the deal. We have to go with growth, and to go with it there must be new roads. Mary's sentiments are much the same, particularly as traffic from southern Virginia grows. Hillsboro needs a bypass so we can reclaim our town. We have allowed interstate traffic to take it over. We can't even use Churton Street. Both women believe that, as has been over the past decades, the Elizabeth Brady Road extension is beyond their immediate reach. And yet, rather than be disheartened, they believe in fighting for the future, that they can leave the town that has been so much of their lives. They agree. We'll never see Brady Road. But, says Edna, I'll keep fighting for it until I can't fight for it. Most proponents, however, are not in any situation immediate to the Elizabeth Brady Road extension. It's hard to say whether they would feel the same way if it were their homes threatened by the new road. Robin Barnhill, who lives on Ivy Drive, is strongly opposed to any Elizabeth Brady Road extension. Robin's address is not technically within the limits of Hillsboro. Regardless, culturally and socially, she is very much a part of the town, and because of that, she wants what is best for Hillsboro. On many grounds, historic, archaeological, environmental, Robin strongly opposes the road. However, she has more right to her views than most anyone else for one more reason. Option 4 will place a barrier wall directly beside her home and affect adjacent property. Option 3 will run through her living room. Robin acknowledges that she has no control over what's going on. When she first purchased her home 12 years ago, she was told, "It's been in the works forever and it's never going to happen." 12 years later, that never may have become very soon. Robin has tried to let her neighbors know what is going on. She has taken flyers to Riverside and tried to start meetings, and still few of the people living around her realize that they may have to abandon their homes in the name of development and new roads. With property extending down to the river, she can see immediately to the racetrack trails. It is right here that the road will cross. And yet Robin says that she has watched the river change over the 12 years, and she sees that the makeup of the river is never set. Anticipating the environmental impact report, she is prepared for the worst. For now, Robin and her neighbors can do little but advocate against the road and hope. And as she said to NCDOT, "Sit on my back porch and then discuss putting this here." As much as this is a town issue, those faces around Hillsboro, those people that will be affected, those that are fighting for what they think will be Hillsboro's future, they are the real story. There are few times when Hillsboro looks like the small town it was, and while some want to preserve all those characteristics that made Hillsboro years ago, others see a broader, less town-distinct future. The Elizabeth Brady Road extension is one of the few tangible ties to whatever the future will be. That may be why road proponents and opponents alike are so dedicated to their views. In the end, however, the future cannot be neatly determined today. Those hoping to know what lies down the road can only hope to look at what might be.